So good of you to join me once again. We are continuing on with the eastern side of the dungeon in search of the fourth Poe and to retrieve the final flame. In this sandy room, you want to roll across to the other side and check out all the torches here. You have to light them in the correct combination of torches, and if you light any of the wrong ones, as I am demonstrating, the way back will shut behind you, and a bunch of Stalkin will then appear. These little guys are easily defeated by using spin attacks, though regular sword slashes will work as well. Probably the easiest way to defeat them is to use a spin attack, back up, wait for it to recharge, and then use a second spin attack to finish them off. The correct combination of torches is the lone one that is set apart from the others that is out front, followed by the far right one. This is the one that is closest to the door. Likewise, if you're playing the GameCube version, it's probably the far left one instead. This will open up the next area. You want to roll across the sand and hit into the door. Now real quick, I want to mention that there's the statue in here that greatly resembles the Desert Colossus found within the Spirit Temple in Ocarina of Time, which was also in the desert. This could very well mean that the Arbiter's grounds, because it looks very similar to the Spirit Temple, it's also in a very similar location. It could very well be the Spirit Temple from Ocarina of Time. Because this place, also the layout of it and everything, it looks more like a temple as opposed to a prison anyways. It was converted into a prison later, as they said, but this could very well mean that this is actually the Spirit Temple. So, as soon as you enter the next room, you'll find several more of those fake lanterns on the walls, so you want to use your senses once again to find the real Poe and Z-target it. This will initiate a short clip of the Poes splitting up into several mirror images of itself, and they surround you circling around. You simply want to wait for them to stop moving, and the one that's going to attack you will turn blue. This is the real one, so you want to... It actually waits quite a while before smacking you, so it shouldn't be too difficult to spot and also to smack it before it smacks you. So just repeat this process. You just want to keep smacking it whenever it turns blue, and this will eventually defeat it. It shouldn't be too difficult. After it falls to the ground, you want to go ahead and claim Poe Soul number 41. It'll poof away like all the other ones, and the final flame will break out of its lantern and return to the main room. Now just a quick comment, this battle is like very nearly identical to the fourth Poe sister, Meg, from within the Forest Temple in Ocarina of Time. Now this may mean that these four Poes we're fighting are in fact like some of the same ones from the previous title, though personally I think it's just that Nintendo was trying to reuse some of the ideas because they could do it cooler this time around. So personally I think Nintendo is just trying to use Twilight Princess as kind of a re-envisioning of what Ocarina of Time could be, now with their new ideas and concepts of the game engine, and able to correct a lot of the awkward gameplay issues that were in the previous title, such as the Iron Boots and stuff, for those of you who played the Water Temple from that game, even though it was really annoying, and so they really made it a lot better for the Lakebed Temple in this game. So they just make this one a lot cooler, and it's just kind of a, there's enough new stuff that this is a completely new story, but still having a lot of deja vu and wow moments for players who, played the Zelda titles back in the N64 era. Anyways, in the next door, you go forward, you'll actually find yourself in a previous room on an upper platform. You want to use your claw shot to latch onto the western grating again, and return to the main room. Now that all the four flames have been returned to their rightful place, the way onward will finally open, and it's just kind of nice that they have it broken up this way. Like, it's the entrance room is like right next to the main room, and the main room leads to the second half of the dungeon. So it's really nice. It's actually just like a major shortcut is what it ends up being to get onward in the dungeon. So now we're on to the second half of this dungeon that we're going to tackle now. As soon as you enter this new room, you'll immediately find yourself confronted with two fire bubbles, which shouldn't give you too much trouble. Defeat them both, then check out the room. To the north is a passageway we will not be able to access for quite some time. To the east is the big key. You can see it up ahead in that black chest. And we actually can't even get across the pit of death for the moment, so just log that away in your memory for now. We will need to go get that key later. Now the only other option is the west side, which has an unlocked door, so I just love this room, it's so cool. As soon as you enter, you want to jump off and fall to the bottom of this area. Remember to hold forward on your analog sticks so that when you land, you will roll and you don't take damage. Now this room is just filled with bubbles and fire bubbles, so be prepared to defeat them as you go. Defeat the two that are down here at the bottom. They'll fly around and fly towards you and everything. Then you want to grab the central pillar thing. You've got like the little lever or whatever you want to call that, and you can start grab hold of it and rotate it. Now because the central pillar itself is like spirally, this will cause the entire platform you're standing on to spin around. This is really cool. So in this way you can press it clockwise to make the platform go down, and you can push or pull it counterclockwise in order to raise the platform. So in this way you can actually access all the alcoves that are in this cylinder-shaped room. As you go up, you'll see a large chest that you undoubtedly want to open, but if you go towards it, however, there are these hidden spikes that will try to give you a haircut. Instead of doing that, you want to go ahead and go the other direction and go the long way, which will lead you to the chest, and you can open it to get a small key. Yay! That's all we really needed to do in this room, but you can continue to raise the platform if you like and explore the other areas. They don't really have anything too interesting, but you can do it if you want. Alternatively, you can use your claw shot to latch on to a ton of these alcoves because they have some gratings, whatever, that are there that have little flames in them. So you can actually just latch onto those instead, as opposed to pushing this platform up over and over again. You can just go through all these little alcoves. They lead to a bunch of dead ends. However, there are a bunch of jars and skulls and such, so if you need some recovery hearts, if you need some life before continuing on in the dungeon, then this might be a good option for you. When you're all done playing around, you want to push or pull the central pillar thing, keep pushing it clockwise to lower it all the way down to the bottom. So here you'll find a locked door, so you want to use our newfound small key and head on through. Now this next room is quite lengthy and is filled with quicksand and a ton of those spiky traps that appear when you get close. Now as you run around though, you'll notice that Link will start moving really slowly, and this is because there are a ton of ghoul rats in this room. You want to transform into a wolf and use your senses in order to see them. These guys will come after you repeatedly, so you can dodge around and defeat them, but just remember, spin attacks is what will take them out, but only when you're using your senses. So, like if you're not using your senses, you won't actually be able to see them. So I'm not even really sure why, but the first time I played this, I just did not even occur to me the possibility of there being ghoul rats in this room, so I actually did this entire room and the following couple rooms with ghoul rats all attached to me. I didn't think to put on my senses, and actually in a couple rooms there's actually some more ghoul rats, and so for some reason I thought of it there, and I was like, whoa, there's tons of ghoul rats attached to me. I don't know why. So I did this entire room and the puzzle at the end of this with ghoul rats, and it was like really hard, and each one of these small patches of quicksand here like nearly killed me because I'm moving really slow. So anyways, really stressful. I thought there was like some glitch in my game, and like I thought my game was ruined or something. Because every time I entered this room, it happened every time. So anyways, near the end of this room, there's actually a redead that is surrounded by ghoul rats. You just want to, just continue maneuvering your way through this room, avoiding the spiky traps and everything. And actually, while in your wolf form, you can Z-target and press A repeatedly in order to dash forward. When you're dashing forward like that, even though you have ghoul rats attached to you, you actually move forward pretty quickly. So you can actually do that to kind of travel around, even though you have ghoul rats attached to you. So while you're fighting the redead, I would suggest ignoring the ghoul rats and focusing on the redead, is what I'm trying to say. So after you defeated that, you just want to kill the remaining ghoul rats in the room. You'll know that when you've defeated them all, because the music will change, it'll show that triumphant music or whatever. And so, now just real quick, I want to show that there's the end of this room. Now that all the enemies are defeated, you'll see one of those stone blocks. It's the same ones, just like the ones we saw in the Goron Mines. We'll have to go around to the other side and pull the chain. So just follow my path right here, and you'll see there's a chain over here. You can just smash these skulls and such if you like to get some recovery hearts in case you are hurt, in case you were damaged in any of that whole experience. I'm going to pick up the chain and pull it back until it won't budge anymore. So you have the block all the way over here, and you should have more than enough time to get over there. Now, as I said before, the first time I actually played this game, I did it with ghoul rats attached to me. It was like pretty intense and nearly impossible, but I made it. Once you finally make it over to the south end of this room, you want to jump across to the other side and mentally prepare yourself to go to this next area. You want to jump across to the sand and then get onto the stone platform. And then you can either roll across the sand or go along the little walls, avoiding these spiky thingies, which I presume are supposed to be a new variation of blade traps from previous Zelda titles. Now here you'll find a ton of scarabs, or scarabs, or however you pronounce that, which will come after you. And I'm playing around here just rolling and slashing my sword and such, but the best method is to simply let them grab onto you and then use a spin attack, which will defeat them all at once. So when you're done playing with them, just use a spin attack whenever you're sick of them. And when you're all done with that, you need to continue on into the final part of this room. Now, I like to still use the sides to my advantage, but I like to roll through the sand because, for the most part, 2 rolls is just much faster than sneaking along the walls and just walking through the sand. It just takes longer. Now, before heading into the door at the end, you want to turn around and roll across into the opposite side where you'll find a jar that is wiggling. You want to pick it up or slash it with your sword to find Ooccoo. Now, as usual, this strange chicken-like character will thank you for getting her out of there and offer to tag along. She's looking for something, so she'll just hang out with us for a little while. Now, you can use her like an item to temporarily teleport out of the dungeon and return to the exact same spot when you use her again. Because the mini-boss is just up ahead, this might be a good chance to go fill up your bottles with some recovery options like potions and chew jelly and stuff. Once she's done talking, you want to go ahead and enter the door at long last. In this new area, there are some more of those scarabs or scarbs or whatever, along with a spinning platform that hates you. Like, why is there a random spinning, spiky club pillar? Drop down into the next area, and there are 2 Stalfos who will pop up on the right. A little trick for you is to simply lay a bomb down and then lure them into walking into it. When it explodes, they'll kill them instantaneously. This will save you a step rather than fighting them with your sword. Unless you like the extra sword play, I think it's a little bit stressful myself because there's not much room and there's a lot of quicksand around here. I don't really like the idea of using a helm splitter and then landing in the sea of sand only to get knocked down with another one of the Stalfos. It just stresses me out. Anyways, you want to roll over to the far side where there is one more Stalfos remains, whatever. You want to awaken it and then bring it over here. And there, for example, I used the Mortal Draw, killed it in one hit because, you know, the Mortal Draw does quite a bit of damage, and then it blew up. So once all three of the Stalfos are defeated, the gate in the previous area will open up. So you want to climb up and sneak past the spinning spiked platform, or the spinning spiked trap of doom. And in this new area, you'll come to a river of sand with a few sinking platforms. Unfortunately, there are a ton of scarabs or whatever that come out of the little holes in the wall. So you want to use a spin attack when you can, then quickly move on. You're going to ignore them if you can and hurry on. As you can see here, I almost didn't make it because they like totally got on me before I could do anything. So there, I almost thought for sure I was going to die. Anyways, up ahead you want to slash the jars and the skulls if you need life, and then you want to enter the door that leads to the mini-boss chamber. So join me for the next video, and I will show you how to defeat it.